Morning, pipe enjoyers. Cobb Tuesday on a Thursday. And in it, I forgot what's in it, but I wrote it down. I think it's a 702 Burley with some espresso and possibly some Virginia. I'd made a cake out of it and I crumbled it out a couple weeks ago. It's a real good morning one. Go with some coffee. There's ass in my favorite mug. Got my compressor hooked up there. I got my chairs tipped up so they don't accumulate too many pine needles. Gotta go do a blowout, but then I gotta go do landscaping duty. Should be like a 2-day job though. I have to repair some sod. Not my ideal thing to do, but it pays okay and it'll keep me busy. A lot of people are holding off on getting their sprinklers blown out because it's been warm, but that should turn pretty quick. I'm hoping to hear back about a winter job that might turn into a year-round job. Really interesting. It's a Repo Man job. I love that movie Repo Man, except I don't have to drive a tow truck and I don't have to actually encounter anybody. It's a new job thanks to AI and computers. Driving a camera car. It's a car that's got a license plate reader on it and a bunch of cameras, and basically it pays hourly. And I have to go around to stupid places at stupid times and look for these cars that people are past their payment schedule on, and locate them. And I get commissions if I find cars that get repossessed. But I think I'm a prime candidate for it. I don't have any social life, so I'm not going to be calling in sick and any shenanigans like that to go party. I'm not going to, I don't drink at all anymore. Totally straight edge. Haven't had any alcohol in all of 2025. Not like I ever had a problem with it, or I just was never really a big drinker. But I could piss in a cup. No drugs in my system. I've had jobs where I drove company vehicles before. I used to even drive a shuttle with people on it. I just need to get my foot in the door, get face to face with this guy. I talked to him briefly on the phone, but he seemed busy. He said to get back to me. I don't know what I might have did or said to to cool off the whole interaction, but I don't know, hopefully he'll just get back to me. But it's full time. Morning. It's full time or part time, it said, but I'm interested in full time from now till winter. I can fit in my customers during the day if I'm working second and third shift. And I can do the same thing next summer even if it works out. I'm just wondering if this car is marked, like how spottable this car is, because like a lot of those areas go through low income apartment complexes and going up and down alleys in North Minneapolis and stuff like that. People pay attention to who's coming and going, and they're kind of hostile to anybody that they don't recognize. especially a white guy with a beard and a camera with suspicious technology on it. And they might even have the whole thing made. They might be like, oh yeah, that's the guy that's trying to repossess our scat pack that we convinced some idiot to sell us that we didn't make one payment on. But I need a little excitement in my life. Maybe I don't. Probably don't. Probably be careful what you wish for kind of a statement. But in the meantime, I have blowouts. I scouted out a couple of blowouts or irrigation customers yesterday. I was on my way to the dentist. I saw a guy blowing out a system. So I stopped and I asked him, hey, how many zones they got here? He said 9. I said, well, what are you charging for this? And the guy told me, he was real forthcoming, told me they charge $130 plus a trip charge, which is an insane amount of money for a blowout if you ask me. There's guys on Craigslist offering it for $65. Some guy that works, for a concrete company or something, they have one to run the jackhammer or whatever. And they're like, hey, we can blow out sprinkler systems, and they probably can. There's not much damage you can do, although you can screw things up if you don't know what you're doing. But so I wrote out, I have branded postcards. So I wrote out a postcard and mailed it to the customer. Let them know that I can offer a much better deal and I'm right in the neighborhood. Then on the way back from the dentist, or on the way to the dentist, I saw a commercial property, strip mall type property, where they had sprinkler heads watering the street. Sprinklers were on. So on the way back, I stopped in one of the businesses there, and I asked them, hey, can you forward me the contact info of the owner or property manager? And of course they said no, but we can give your info to him. So I already had a postcard with a little note written on it, handed them that and some business cards. And I got to talking to them. They said that there's some guy that's been calling there complaining like every other day about the sprinklers watering the street, and that the owner lives in South Dakota and he works on it himself, but it's going to be a while before he can get to it. So I said, definitely tell him to give me a call and chat. And they said they would. They seemed friendly to me. And they very well could have been hostile and cold about it, and I could have got the impression they weren't going to forward my info, but I think they are, because they sounded sick of getting calls, because this is just a business. This was like a dog urgent care, it seemed like, or maybe a full veterinary thing. I couldn't really tell, but it seemed like it. They had like 3 or 4 girls working at the desk. They had doggos coming in and checking in, and it's like a dog clinic. Probably cats too, and birds and snakes and snails and geckos and iguanas and I don't know, but yeah, they're not in charge of the sprinkler system, so it's annoying to them to be getting calls. But hopefully I'll get that one. I offered them a good deal. I gave them a price for a blowout. It's basically a small residential sized sprinkler system because they only have boulevards to water. And, that's the kind of place they have pipes going underneath the parking lot, and they can run into some deep doo-doo for a guy that's just doing it himself that lives in South Dakota. And I can handle all that. I can rent a jackhammer if I need to. I have the air compressor to run it, and I can rent a jackhammer cheap, like $40 for a day. So if I need to do that, if I need to jackhammer up the parking lot to get to something, I can. If they have Legos, and some other guy can come and fill it in, concrete guy or a blacktop guy. But they don't seem to have that problem. They just have a bunch of broken sprinkler heads. And I could fix that right up for them, so hopefully they'll call me. And this other guy, even though he already had his winterized, there's a couple people on his block I've sent postcards to them. I hadn't noticed his system before, but right at the end of the block there's one, and like one block down, and on his side there's one that I worked on for another company before. And maybe they'll ask him, hey, who blew out your system? And be like, oh, these guys. But this one other guy offered me a better deal, and he says he lives in the neighborhood. I don't know. It's that kind of thing. Word of mouth. Advertising doesn't really work. That's why I don't have any advertising on my vehicles or on my compressor, because people just call you and ask you. I get calls for people want me to do aeration, and people want me to do all this kind of stuff. A guy called me up and wanted me to aerate his yard a couple weeks ago, and after the fact I thought about it. I could rent an aerator and a trailer at the place where I rent stuff. I could have maybe just done it, but again, you can get into deep doo-doo. You have to get a locate, or I get a locate called on any house if I'm going to be doing like running a pipe puller or anything like that, because this new thing is fiber. You don't want to hit the fiber. It annoys the customer really bad when you knock out their internet. A lot of people, they have their phone through their internet now, so you knock out everything to them. We did that before when I worked for this other company. Oh, my alarm's going off telling me it's time to go get gas and go head out to this blowout. Anyway, check out under my tree area. I remulched it and made it look nice. Got rid of all the weeds. I moved all the plants, rescued them. Moved the hostas to my hosta nursery, put the lilies behind my garage where I'm trying to grow a lot of lilies. And I got a columbine plant in here that I need to find a place for it for winter. It's a really nice looking plant when it flowers. Anyway, that's it. 1PS out.